Imagine boarding a plane, fastening your seatbelt, and before the flight attendants can even finish their safety demonstration, you're already preparing to land. Sounds impossible, right? Well, across the globe, there are international flights so short that you'll spend more time waiting at the gate than actually flying. Today, we're taking you on a journey through the 5 shortest international flights in the world. These aren't your typical cross-country marathons or transatlantic adventures. We're talking about flights that last less time than your average lunch break. Some are so brief that passengers barely have time to enjoy their complimentary beverage before touching down in another country. But here's the thing. These flights aren't just quirky aviation oddities. Many of them serve crucial purposes, connecting island communities, linking business hubs, and providing essential transportation where bridges and tunnels simply aren't feasible. And for travel enthusiasts, they're bucket list experiences that prove sometimes the journey really can be just as memorable as the destination, even when that journey lasts less than 10 minutes. So, buckle up, make sure your tray table is in the upright position, and let's explore these miniature marvels of modern aviation. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be adding at least one of these to your travel wish list.
Coming in at number 1, we have the flight between Vienna, Austria and Bratislava, Slovakia. This international hop takes approximately 40 minutes gate to gate, though the actual flight time is closer to 30 minutes. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone fly between 2 cities that are only 50 kilometers apart? That's about 31 miles for those keeping track. Well, here's where it gets interesting. While Vienna and Bratislava are indeed incredibly close, they're separated by a national border, making this one of the shortest international routes in Europe. The flight is operated sporadically, usually by small regional carriers, and it's not your everyday commercial route. In fact, many travelers opt for the train or bus, which can take about an hour, or even drive, which takes roughly the same time depending on traffic. But for business travelers with tight schedules or aviation enthusiasts looking to tick off a unique experience, this flight offers something special. What makes this route particularly fascinating is the view. On a clear day, passengers can see both capital cities from their window seat simultaneously. You'll fly over the Danube River, which forms part of the border between Austria and Slovakia, and you'll witness the stark contrast between Vienna's imperial architecture and Bratislava's mix of medieval and communist-era buildings. From a practical standpoint, this flight showcases how aviation can serve as a time saver even over very short distances. When you factor in the time it takes to get to the airport, check in, and go through security, the total travel time becomes comparable to ground transportation. But for connecting international travelers or those with mobility challenges, having this option available can be incredibly valuable. The aircraft used on this route are typically small regional jets or turboprops, often seating 50 passengers or fewer. Don't expect a meal service here. You'll be lucky to get a bottle of water before landing. The crew barely has time to make their welcome announcement before they're preparing for descent.
At number 2, we jet over to Southeast Asia for the flight from Singapore to Batam, Indonesia. This tropical island hop takes approximately 35 minutes, covering a distance of about 40 kilometers or 25 miles across the Singapore Strait. This route is particularly important because it connects one of the world's busiest financial hubs with a popular resort island destination. Batam is part of Indonesia's Riau Islands province and serves as both a weekend getaway for Singaporeans and a manufacturing hub with strong economic ties to its wealthier neighbor. Multiple airlines operate this route daily, with some days seeing dozens of flights. You might find yourself on anything from a small propeller plane to a regional jet. The frequency of service reflects the strong business and leisure connections between these 2 destinations. For many Singaporeans, Batam represents an affordable escape where they can enjoy Indonesian culture, cuisine, and relaxation without the time commitment of a longer journey. The flight path takes you over the busy waters of the Singapore Strait, one of the world's most important shipping lanes. From your window, you'll see massive container ships, oil tankers, and cargo vessels, creating a floating highway below. The contrast between Singapore's towering skyline and Batam's more laid-back coastal development is striking from above. What's particularly interesting about this route is the price point. Because of competition and the short distance, you can often find tickets for as little as $30 to $50 US. This makes it one of the most affordable international flights anywhere in the world. For budget travelers, it's an easy way to add another country's stamp to your passport without breaking the bank. The immigration process on both ends is relatively streamlined, especially for frequent travelers. Batam's airport is much smaller and less hectic than Singapore's Changi Airport, which many passengers find refreshing after navigating one of the world's most busy aviation hubs. From a pilot's perspective, this route is considered relatively straightforward, though the high volume of air traffic in the region requires constant attention. The weather in this equatorial zone is generally favorable for flying, though afternoon thunderstorms can occasionally cause delays.
Number 3 takes us back to Europe, specifically to the flight between Zurich, Switzerland and Friedrichshafen, Germany. This cross-border journey takes about 30 minutes of flight time, though the total gate-to-gate experience is closer to 50 minutes. Friedrichshafen sits on the northern shore of Lake Constance, known in German as Bodensee, which forms a natural border between Switzerland, Germany, and Austria. This historic town is famous for being the birthplace of the Zeppelin airship, and it remains an important industrial and tourism center. The route is primarily served by small regional carriers operating turboprop aircraft. These planes are perfect for short hops like this one, as they're more fuel efficient than jets for brief flights and can operate from shorter runways. The flight altitude barely reaches cruising level before the descent begins, with pilots typically climbing to around 10,000 to 15,000 feet. What makes this flight special is the scenery. Lake Constance is one of Central Europe's largest and most beautiful lakes, and from the air, it's absolutely stunning. On a clear day, you can see the snow-capped Alps to the south, the rolling hills of southern Germany to the north, and the pristine blue waters of the lake below. Photography enthusiasts will want a window seat for this one. The passenger demographic on this route is interesting. You'll find a mix of business travelers working for companies in the region's manufacturing and technology sectors, tourists heading to or from Swiss ski resorts, and aviation enthusiasts specifically seeking out short flight experiences. The atmosphere is typically relaxed and friendly, with passengers and crew often engaging in casual conversation. Timing-wise, this flight is most popular during business hours on weekdays, with fewer services on weekends. The cost is relatively higher than you might expect for such a short distance, reflecting Switzerland's generally expensive transportation costs and the specialized nature of regional aviation services. One practical note, if you're considering this flight, check the train schedules as well. The railway connection between these cities is scenic and reliable, taking about 2.5 hours. But if time is of the essence, or you simply want the experience of an ultra-short international flight, this route delivers.
At number 4, we head to the sunny Greek islands for the flight between Karpathos and Kassos. This island hopper takes approximately 20 minutes, covering a distance of just 18 kilometers, or about 11 miles. These two islands are part of Greece's Dodecanese island chain, located in the southeastern Aegean Sea. Karpathos is the larger and more developed of the two, while Kassos is smaller, more remote, and maintains a more traditional Greek island character. The flight serves as a crucial lifeline for Kassos residents who would otherwise face a challenging ferry journey to access larger towns and services. This route is typically operated by Olympic Air, using small aircraft, often with seating for 40 passengers or fewer. The frequency varies seasonally, with more flights during the busy summer tourism months and reduced service in winter. For many residents of Kassos, this flight isn't a novelty, it's essential infrastructure that connects them to hospitals, universities, and business opportunities on the larger island. The flight experience itself is wonderfully unique. You'll take off from Karpathos, climbing just high enough to clear the minimum safe altitude, and almost immediately begin your descent toward Kassos. The flight path follows the sea, giving passengers spectacular views of the deep blue Aegean waters dotted with rocky outcrops and the occasional sailboat. What's remarkable about this route is how it demonstrates aviation's role in supporting remote communities. Kassos has a population of only about 1,000 people, far too small to justify a flight on purely commercial grounds. However, the Greek government subsidizes these island routes to ensure that residents of even the smallest inhabited islands maintain connection to the broader nation. The ticket price reflects this subsidy, making it surprisingly affordable. Locals often pay just 30 to 40 euros for a one-way ticket, which is remarkable considering the operational costs of running such a short route with small aircraft. For tourists, it's a chance to experience authentic Greek island life on Kassos, which sees far fewer visitors than its more famous neighbors like Rhodes or Santorini. Weather can play a significant role on this route. The Aegean is known for strong winds, particularly the Meltemi wind that blows during summer months. While modern aircraft handle these conditions safely, the ride can be bumpy, and flights are occasionally delayed or canceled when conditions exceed safety limits. From a pilot's perspective, this is one of those routes where experience with island flying really matters. The approaches to both airports require careful attention to wind conditions, terrain, and the relatively short runways. But for passengers, it's an exhilarating glimpse into the world of Greek island aviation.
Number 5 takes us to southern Africa for the flight between Hoedspruit, South Africa, and Maputo, Mozambique. This cross-border flight takes approximately 35 to 40 minutes and covers about 250 kilometers or 155 miles. Now, you might notice this is a longer distance than some of our previous entries, but it makes the list because it's one of the shortest international flights connecting two different countries in mainland Africa, and it showcases a very different kind of aviation operation compared to our European and Asian examples. Hoedspruit is located in South Africa's Limpopo province, near the famous Kruger National Park. The airport there primarily serves the safari tourism industry, with thousands of international visitors passing through each year on their way to luxury game lodges and wildlife experiences. Maputo, on the other hand, is Mozambique's capital and largest city, a coastal hub with Portuguese colonial architecture and beautiful beaches. This route is typically operated by smaller charter companies and regional carriers, using aircraft ranging from tiny 8-seater Cessna Caravans to larger regional turboprops. The frequency isn't daily on regular commercial schedules, but charter services make the trip regularly, especially during peak safari season from May to September. What makes this flight interesting is the dramatic change in landscape you'll witness. Departing from Hoedspruit, you'll fly over the bushveld terrain of northeastern South Africa, classic African savanna with acacia trees and possible wildlife sightings from the air, if you're lucky and flying low enough. As you approach Maputo, the landscape transitions to coastal plains and eventually the Indian Ocean coastline. The passenger experience on this route is quite different from the European hops we've discussed. Security is more relaxed, the atmosphere more informal, and the aircraft often smaller and more intimate. It's not uncommon to strike up conversations with fellow passengers, many of whom are sharing safari stories or discussing their Mozambique beach plans. From a practical standpoint, this flight serves an important purpose beyond tourism. It facilitates business connections between South Africa's industrial heartland and Mozambique's developing economy. There's significant trade and investment flowing between these countries, and having direct air links, even short ones, helps support that economic relationship. The cost varies widely depending on whether you're booking a seat on a scheduled service or chartering privately. Scheduled services might run $150 to $300, while private charters can cost significantly more but offer flexibility that commercial schedules can't match. Weather considerations on this route are important. The summer months from November to March bring heavy rains and afternoon thunderstorms that can cause delays. Pilots need to navigate around storm cells, sometimes extending the flight time. The winter months offer more stable flying conditions and are generally preferred for this route.
And there you have it, the 5 shortest international flights you can actually book and fly today. From the 90-second sprint between Scottish islands to the tropical Caribbean hops and European mini-journeys, these routes prove that international travel doesn't always require hours in the air. What's remarkable about all these flights is that they're not just tourism curiosities. They're vital transportation links that connect communities, support economies, and in many cases, provide essential services to remote populations. They showcase aviation's flexibility and its ability to serve routes that might seem impractical on paper, but are invaluable in practice. So the next time you're planning a trip and looking for a unique experience, consider adding one of these ultra-short international flights to your itinerary. You'll get a passport stamp, an unforgettable story, and a perspective on how the world stays connected that you won't find on any long-haul flight. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments which of these flights you'd most like to experience. Safe travels, and remember, sometimes the best journeys are the shortest ones.